Hello, hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name's Josh Gallagher. I'm MediaCom APAC's Chief Product Officer, and you're back here again at Loop Live, streaming every couple of weeks to give you an inside view of some of the challenges that modern marketers are having and facing, especially as we come into the back end of the year. And retail season is the topic of the back end of the year, and we're going to touch on it a little bit today. We're moving on. Sunday is 10/10, the real start of the Mega Day sales. A whopping 65% of APAC consumers have made a Mega Sale Day purchase across the region. Absolutely huge now from an e-commerce perspective. Most of them are being made on mobile devices and through apps like Line, who we're going to hear from today. But what that technology has really done is provide much more opportunities for brands to engage with their customers. So it's not just about executing a transaction. We're able to have full funnel e-commerce on some of these platforms, whether it's the Facebook or Instagrams of the world, or some local and regional players like Line. There's a real shift in the way that people are discovering products and purchasing. 48% of those are more likely to purchase if that company is contactable through messaging. The thing that I really like about messaging and conversation commerce is it works across multiple categories. We'll see some examples here today of luxury categories that are doing it really well. So it's not just low-end beauty or food and things that we associate with sale items. It's across the board. So we're moving from this place from advertising to commerce through to content and conversation to commerce. This growth of experiences is really still providing acceleration in shopping, even as behaviors change. So to talk about that today, I'm going to introduce a couple of people that are going to help us go through what conversation commerce looks like, what those new brand experiences are, and they're the real experts. So I'm going to hand it over to B and then Tom to take us through a little bit of their expertise. If you guys have any questions, pop them in the comments, and if we have time at the end, I'll come back and I'll ask these two gentlemen some questions. But over to you, B and Tom.
Okay, thank you, Josh. So over to our slide. So with the help of Kun Tom here, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how chat commerce is now developing, and we're able to drive those brand experience, those next level brand experiences on chat commerce. Tom, is the slide? Oh, okay. So and those experiences. Give us a second.
Sorry about that. I think that's my part.
It's okay. So just to carry on from what I was saying, so how chat commerce can bridge those and help bridge those transactions, whether they do it on a chat platform or whether they go back to marketplace. And a global survey that GroupM and Sales Cycle did discovered that over 80% of online transactions carts are abandoned. And that goes through from fashion to consumer electronics to groceries and so on. And the reason why that happens, especially in Thailand anyway, is that sometimes it's about logistics. It's about ease of payment, whether it's going up country, where's it going? Go to next slide. And in most of those cases, you can see that those online transactions are done via smartphone. And that, like I said, as I mentioned before, it's because of ease of e-wallet. Consumers are able to move from app to app, whether that's from Shopee to Lazada, or share on Instagram with their friends about something they found and so on. So there's no doubt people going and turning to their phones. Next slide, Tom. And just wanted to give you an idea of the mobile commerce reach in these selected countries. So you can probably see here there's about 15 countries, and I think 10 or 11 of those are in Asia Pacific. So that really indicates that in Asia Pacific, we can't live without our phones. Next slide, Tom. And well, it's a did you know scenario, but 4/5 of those mobile device time is spent on chat apps. I mean, I know for myself that I do it, and I've had a personal experience when it comes to buying things on chat platforms. So, for example, I recently bought a coffee table that I saw on Shopee, and I had to get some logistical information and customization. So I had to go to Line, right through to ordering my barbecue ribs for my party. So, so for me, I've had a real personal experience when it comes to chat commerce. Next slide, Tom. And what I'm going to do now, I just wanted to jump right in and give you an example of something that we have done for our client Richmond, and this is for Cartier. And what we've done here is we've really tried to get very simple insights about the luxury market and how we can connect that to the digitized consumer. So here you can see this is a Line example. So there's Line stickers. If you're in Thailand, you're probably familiar with it. But Line is one of the biggest chat platforms in Thailand. What the pain point of our consumers here for our client was that they didn't want to go to retail stores and then be shocked by price. And if you've ever been to Thailand, you know that Thai people are super polite. There's a sense of shyness in there as well. And so we kind of understood the pain point of our consumers. So we needed to discover what platform we can really have our audience live and thrive with our brand. And it was just a very obvious choice to then go and move those conversations into Line. And what that kind of did was allowed consumers to be able to connect with Line in a much more sort of grounded relationship. People were able to check out prices and so on. So we developed what we call Cartier Boy. And Cartier Boy is just basically an online, I guess, concierge or a personal shopper where it would help you look and discover the product, the catalog, right through to whatever different sort of products and occasions you're looking for. And it just allowed especially the younger audience to be able to look at products and go, hey, that Trinity ring or that Love ring isn't as expensive as I thought it could be. And even though the transactions didn't quite finish online or chat platform, what it did is helped bring back those consumers and sort of facilitate those transactions. So you can see here that Cartier Boy generated over almost 1,000% in growth in Line funds within the campaign period. And it just meant that, by understanding those cultural insights and then understanding how we can make it personal and then right through to where are those relevant platforms where we know our audience will live and thrive. So this is a Cartier example. If you haven't seen it yet, please go and check out. And you can probably see there's Sawatdi and 555, which means laugh out loud in Western language. So there's we've tried to make a luxury brand very, very connected to on a cultural base. And I think it's been a really, really successful campaign. We're planning to continue with it. So over to you, Kuntom, to talk a little bit more about Line as a platform.
Yeah, it can be. That's a great example. Cartier is a great example. And then I think we just like to highlight that, for example, from Line, where we are coming from, we are always been the social and the chat commerce platform, and we've people use us for various places. So once Line decides to do e-commerce, it's really more about how can we leverage the current existing behavior that's already going on and make it better. So if people are chatting with businesses and they're translating offline, that's great. We don't mind that at all, and we're glad and feel honored that we are part of that experience. So just introducing myself, my name is Tom. I'm Lertad. I'm head of e-commerce. So today I'd just kind of like to talk to you more about where we're coming from, where Line fits in of all this chat commerce, and what we are seeing of how this chat is just such a unique experience. So for me, the other day, I think a great example kind of can be hinted before. So I was just browsing on Instagram, and I just came across, work from home. Right now, people work from home all the time, so we're a bit more obsessed about buying products and category from home and living. And, it just came across this table, and it looked really nice. So the question I had was, it looks nice, but does it fit with my room? And what is the wood made from? Is this, are you selling the chairs, something like that? And I just kind of asked about it and where the size. And it was easy. It was so easy for the sellers just answer me. It's like I could actually, I didn't capture the whole chat, but I could just send them the picture of my room, and they could say, this just look nice. Maybe this color fills in a bit better. So it really fills in, and it really convinced me that, this chair, this table would really fit in with my whole experience. And then when the transaction closes, I can close it right there in chat. So this is a good experience because otherwise, instead of sending me to another website, the seller actually knows that I ended up buying it. And right now, this relationship stays. A week after this, they ask me, how does it look? I can send them a picture. So I now have a relationship with this store. And this is something that's been happening, and it's a unique characteristic of social commerce. It's really about the direct relationship with the brand. And when I say I bought this store, I say I bought from the store. I don't even say I bought from Line. It's just through Line, it's social network. So this is where we're coming from. What we want to talk about today, chat commerce, is really the differentiating engagement and transactional behavior of the social commerce market. So the statistics we see, that story actually reflects into statistics. Chat, we found, enables conversion, and it matches the type behavior. We found that the conversion rate in chat, once the user has the intention to buy and they chat with you, with the brand, the conversion rate is much higher than if they saw the website. So it's kind of like in a website, it might be window shopping. If you have a question, you just kind of walk past. Imagine you're walking to a mall, you see something nice, something, if no one pulls you in, you just walk past. So conversion rate in websites is usually 3%. In chat, it's around 45%. And another thing is the cart abandonment rate. The average cart abandonment rate is 70% globally. And I believe, and for chat, once the user has made the intention that yes, they want to buy it, the drop off is very low. It's only around 17%. So there's more intention there, and there's also been the conversation engagement that reflects into the conversion rate. And there's some 3 factors we found. One is conversations are easy. I think this has always been one of the fun things we like to talk about when people outside of Thailand, we talk with people outside the market, they say, that looks so hard to buy. But actually, we found that in chat is the most natural interface. Anyone knows how to use chat. That's why messaging is the #1 used platform versus all social network, because you don't really need to learn how to chat to communicate. You need to learn the metaphor of a news feed or something like that. And also trust. So in this world where we come from the e-marketplace of all the ratings and the stars. Actually, if you think about the offline space, where do we gain the trust? It's from the branding, from the communication. It's also seeing other people buy from it. So, and also having that salesperson, how many sales have we bought where we walk with a product and then we weren't going to buy it, but this salesperson really convinced us. So this is trust in social commerce, and it can happen in chat right away without any additional features. And lastly, we all talk about personalization when we do online. Nothing gets more personalized than individual one-to-one chat. You actually know the person without acting the data. You know the person's name, you know the person's kid's name. So it's really a way to enable to convert conversion online. And as Line, obviously we're the #1 chat platform. People spend a lot of time online, over an hour spent in just Line platform alone. And obviously we know a lot about chat commerce, and we believe that this is a common behavior. This is not a niche behavior. It's always been the place of all the years that we've been in the market. So today I just kind of like to talk a bit more about how we are adding more. Just shortly, I take care of e-commerce services. The #1 service right now is Line Shopping. What we're doing here is we want to take the experience I just told you about, and we want to create the next phase because we know it could be better. Chat is such a unique experience, but what can we do more to fill in the gaps that's missing in the experience? Overview is just we take what's best of what already exists in Line. We link the Line official account, and we use the existing infrastructure we've already had, like Line Pay, Line Points, and we tie it all down to offer a solution for brands called Line Shopping. So what we want to do here is we want to take the best of the chat conversations, and we add in the payments, and we help you personalize the right target. And then once the target comes in, as I showed you earlier, the buyer will have a big brand loyalty with you. And then going forward, we want to help you take advantage of the social graph that exists in Line. One thing that exists in Line that doesn't exist in normal traditional e-commerce platforms are the friends that you have. So how can we help you take advantage of that? That's where we're going with Line Shopping going forwards. Aside from that, from all the features, just want to highlight one thing we're differentiated in that as a social commerce solution, we don't just provide the tools, we also provide you with marketing campaigns. And we work with agencies like MediaCom for that. And we can help you use the Line Shopping media to service your brand, your campaigns, as well as the features. For even example, we help you with Line Points. We give you retention mechanic so that the buyers can come back. So before now, when you use chat to convert the purchases, maybe you didn't have the way to expose the products to other people or to have retain buyers, and now you can. So what we're really doing here is now combining the best of social commerce and So mining the best of social commerce is a new online purchasing behavior. And right now, in the first year, we have 7 million monthly active users and over 200,000 sellers. And this is just really the beginning. It's not really just about the small SME brands, but a lot of the larger brands like you are already on our platform. And that's the focus of what I want to tell you about today. So enough about us. Just want to give you some real concrete examples if you can get an idea of what works in social commerce. Just some case studies. So number one, just like to talk to you about like Yves Rocher. The solution for going online for Yves Rocher is very interesting in that once COVID happened, we found that Yves Rocher already had individual branches and they already had very expert sales personnel in those branches. So this is one way that people have tried to go online in previous ways, upload a lot of products on their website or maybe go to some other solutions. But what really worked was that they realized that, we already have a lot of people in our Yves Rocher official account. Why don't we just enable people to buy from these stores? So right away, by just putting one solution, they already have an omni-channel solution. So when people come in and chat and they want to buy a product, instead of just, a lot of people know that Yves Rocher will have a lot of solutions, but they might not remember the exact product. So actually, you could just chat, and then people will take the photo, and then the sales advisor, if you beauty advisor, they can say that, if you have this kind of hair, maybe this is trying to treatment be better for you. That is the key of social commerce, and that is like the personal engagement, and that's the differentiation factor of what makes social commerce work. Aside from that, once you make a sale, that's where we can help come in. The solution helps you automate the orders right in chat. We can help you show the order status and all the automation stuff that systems should be best to do. We help you with, and you just provide the actual experience to the consumer. So that was where we began with. Once we started to do more with them, we keep adding new solutions like collections so that there are new features to inspire social commerce browsing. We also support them with the media, and the order growth skyrocketed once we did the campaigns with them. Oops. Sorry, can you kind of moderate, like bring up the screen again? I think it somehow got disconnected. Thank you. So the second case we want to talk to you about is Longterm, Thailand. Obviously, luxury brand. A lot of you, some of you may already be here. Luxury brands, obviously brand image is. Obviously, brand image is an interesting, important part of selling online. So there are not many solutions that fit the luxury market. However, chat commerce does. Because if you think about the interface, when you're talking to a luxury brand, all you're seeing is that brand experience, and whatever you're conversing with, this whole photo. There's no other products, there's no other brands that are getting in the way. So it's actually the great solution for luxury products. We have many luxury brands where the first solution that go online in Thailand or even Southeast Asia is actually online, because the luxury brands can still keep the brand experience. And the people that want to shop from luxury brand, you go directly to the brand. You don't want to browse. You already know this brand is the brand you want to talk about and you want to have a relationship with. So it fits in right here. And so the problem with Longterm, once they found that the solution to go online was obviously chat. But as they start to scale and people start to know that this is the way to buy from the official shop of Longterm, was that scaling. So that's, again, where we come in. We can help you with other solutions. We can help you as a new social storefront. So Longterm decided to start experimenting by sending their buyers to this social storefront instead. And they found that they can still keep increasing their sales because the people that already know and trust from them can buy from right away. But people that want to ask a bit more about the product, they can chat. It is the same platform. It converts well, and they can manage their orders very well in the solution in the back end. Again, once they want to scale, we can help you with that as well. Line Shop and Media, we can help you launch exclusive products that are available only in this channel. And we had a very successful campaign with them as well. And the last example I wanted to talk to you and show you about is JBL Merit. And this is an interesting topic because when people talk about social commerce, what people would often might not realize is that social commerce is not about just retail. Social commerce is about engagement with all the brand experience. So even hotels and travels, that happens in social commerce as well. So JBL Merit has many brands. Obviously, when COVID happened, they could not do travel that well. But we realized that each hotel, it's not just about the hotel, but there's other restaurants that people know. When people think about their hotels, they think about the restaurant, they think about the services, they think about the spa. And so how can they they realize that, in the social channels, it's about relation with you and the hotel. So actually they're not limited to just selling the room booking, but they can actually sell the food, they can sell coupons for future travel. So this is the flexibility that we've offered the travel industry. Last year we did a campaign with TAT, but to promote this, actually they could sell food during the current campaign to have additional revenue stream, or they could sell cash vouchers to ensure that people can come in and redeem them in the future. And it all happens within chat. So this means that they can retarget these kind of buyers anytime, right away. So overall, we are, in terms of campaign, we help them with a point back campaign to provide more value to the sellers. JBL Merit was able to grow tremendously within this campaign during the COVID period, and they're one success case we're proud of. So just give you examples of an idea of what differentiates social commerce. Hope this helped you paint a better picture. Some key takeaways, and I think we'll just end with, social commerce is already big in Thailand. We've seen news in the Western world where social commerce is a new trend. In Thailand, it's always been the trend. This has been the dominant market. And I think this comes in because we are kind of a better journey. We fill in that gap between the unplanned purchase and inspiration driven. Whereas other marketplaces are good for efficiency, and there will always be, chat commerce solves the problem of the inspiration commerce. And thirdly, we provide opportunity for you to engage and interact with customers, not just before, but after conversion. Many of you have using the Line official account know quite well how well we do in the after conversion phase. So by getting customers to buy directly from you, you're having this direct relationship with them. And actually you get that data, and when they come back what they bought from you before and how to re-engage with them. And lastly, just like to highlight, it's really about buying from the customer and the brand. It's not really about customer and line. Line is just a tool for you to use. When they buy from you, it's about you having direct engagement and relationship between customers and brand. It's not about the customer and line or the platform. And this model is really our solution for the direct-to-consumer market in Thailand. So we believe that social commerce and chat commerce is the solution for the direct-to-consumer model in Thailand. And that's what we built the entire service and business model around on. We don't charge any commission because it's direct-to-consumer. So it's just some quick questions to give you with. Just if you're pondering about how you can enter in chat commerce, number one, it's just like to ask, is there a business opportunity for you in collecting first-party data that you can use to long-term? And you can build a long-term re-engagement relationship with your customer. As you can see, the brands today, they were able to pivot during COVID because they had this first-party data and this first-party customer. So if there's a business opportunity here, there's a big chance that chat commerce will help you. Second question is, do you already have knowledgeable and passionate brand representatives? It could be beauty advisors. Many people will have equivalents. It could be some influencers you work with. If you imagine that if you were able to put your customers in front of them, would they be able to make a sale and have a relation with your brand? And if yes, I believe chat commerce is right for you too. And if no, I would like to ask why not? Why don't you? I think that's where we're going. Going forward, as the internet develops, it's going to be more and more about the direct relationship and long-term relationship you have with the consumer, especially for brands. So I think it's a good question to leave you with as of today. Overall, if anyone would like to know more, you could contact us at linemyshop.com, myshop@linecorp.com, or after these communities, just search for Line Shopping, and we'll get in touch. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben and Tom. That was really good. It's always good to learn about new channels and new platforms that are taking the world by storm, but have already been happening in Thailand for some time. And I think the thing that I really like about chat commerce or conversation commerce is, as you said, it kind of replicates an experience that was already there physically for the last 100 years. People are used to going into shops, asking questions about their groceries or about luxury purchases on the high end. So it really does replicate that experience. So for consumers, it's really easy. The question that I want to ask to start off with is, from a brand experience, how difficult is it to do it? Because it's probably a new behavior for a lot of our clients and a lot of brands coming into this space. The physical retail has always been there, and that's been something that's a little bit muscle memory, and it's something that the clients do over and over again. But how difficult is it to start this as a new experience from the advertiser side part of it?
Well, I think just looking at the Cartier example, I think that behavior's always existed. So there's a cultural thing about being shy and being polite in Thailand and not having to walk away from purchases and so on. So I think for us, it was just getting just really basic insights and then trying to find those platforms where we know the audience will live, thrive, and do what they do best, which is talk, share, post, comment, and so on. So I think if I could give sort of a viewpoint for other marketers, I think that having chat commerce can really help bridge and facilitate those transactions that can then lead to a brand experience. Like as I mentioned with Cartier, too often it might not be done directly on the platform itself, but then it can drive those people to go back into store. And especially with the pandemic, people are dying to get out. So this kind of worked at the right time, I guess, in some ways, right place, right time. And I think that's really been key to the success of the Cartier example that I just demonstrated earlier on.
Yeah, interesting. So to build on that, Tom, are there any kind of watch outs in terms of the way that we communicate with people then? Is it really important for a Cartier to maintain tone of voice in the way that they talk to people? Or is it a different way of speaking to them on a new platform like a Line or whatever it might be?
We would suggest to keep the tone of voice. So I think the best way has always been to leverage what you already have and to keep the tone of voice. I think the problems several years back was that brands did not behave the same way. You start with maybe screening them out automatically first, maybe a bot, but the bot was not really speaking the tone of the language. We always suggest that, realistically, longer term, there needs to be some automation or some bots, but first start off manually, first start off having that personal conversation, and then say you will automate. That's why as a platform, we also provide tools to automate during the back end. But the conversation will always be the brand having the conversation with the buyer.
Cool. Well, thank you. We're out of time today. That was really interesting. I think especially as we're coming into a really heavy retail period that seems to last forever in Southeast Asia now. This kind of commerce is really important. It's emerging, and it's something that a lot of markets need to take notice of. And for me, as I said at the start, it's really interesting because whether you're asking for food, buying some furniture, or buying something high-end, chat commerce really makes sense now. So thanks for taking the time, Tom, and also B. And for everyone else that joined, we'll see you in a few weeks. So thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you as well.